The clippity-clop of horses' hooves on cobblestone streets. A tinkling bell adding romance to each rise and fall. A polyphony of voices, eager and honest, drawing tourists to gastronomic adventures with their mischievous warmth. Timeless church bells with chimes that echo through the streets. A resounding invitation to a little quiet time. Even with a sense of sound alone, it is easy to see that Ilocos Sur is a place where culture and history aren't just things to be read about in books. They are companions one walks side by side with, their footsteps leaving marks to be tread upon again and again. Culture and history live here, in this province that sits between the mountain and the sea. Like a mystical land tucked in an expanse of natural wonders, Ilocos Sur stands to the west of the mountain province and the east of the China Sea. All of its 34 municipalities gifted with the resources it takes to become the tourist destination that it is today. Beguiling and admirable as it is, however, there is little that is mystical about Ilocos Sur. Without a doubt, its beauty comes from nothing else but a firm foot on the ground and a clear eye on the path. Welling up from an unwavering grip on their collective history, the earthly beauty of Ilocos Sur stems from its triumphs and its hardships, in its daily ways of living that have passed on from generations to generations, and in the Ilocanos' inherited capabilities of progress and hope. Love for the rich reality of their everyday life is what Ilocos Sur's Kannawidan festival is all about. A simple thing that they celebrate in epic proportions. It's possible that the biggest birthday bash is found nowhere else but in the humble province of Ilocos Sur. Set in the month of February, the Kannawidan Festival pulls out all stops to mark the coming and going of another year in the history of Ilocos Sur since gaining its independence on the fateful February of 1818. For the people of the province, each and every new year is another opportunity to tell the tale of their home and its multitude of treasures, as they've done for 5 years now with Kannawidan. The festival's namesake being an Ilocano term that speaks of traditions that have grown and transformed with years of practice, Kannawidan underscores the simple fact that the best way to honor something is to live it. Knowing culture and heritage in a way that only people who eat, breathe, and sleep it can, the organizers of the Kannawidan Festival hatched up affairs in fields where culture manifested itself best, which is, every field, a literal smorgasbord of this and that. The 6-day Kannawidan Festival showed every color of the Ilocano heart, starting with a solid hue of faith. The Ilocanos of Ilocos Sur began their festival with an act of dedicated thanksgiving. One of the items on their list of things to be thankful for being the fruits of their homeland. Representatives from all 34 municipalities made their way to Vigan, the festival's base of affairs, to show off the results of their day-to-day hard work. Products made possible through the bounty of the surroundings and the passion of the people. The trade, agri, aqua, and livestock fair and competition were 2 events where the real stars of the show spoke. Not through words, but through the twin assets of quality and quantity. The products of Ilocos Sur, too abundant to be appreciated in just a single day, stayed in town at the One Town, One Product Market. Thanks to these events and the scores of visitors from all over the country, the Kannawidan Festival brought with it an economic boost for Ilocos Sur, a boost well-deserved by its farmers and fishermen, its craftsmen, and of course, its street vendors. In Ilocos Sur, there's no question of who or what holds the reins. Culture is the province's fearless leader. In the inviting forms of kalesas on the streets, sumptuous food on the plate, or beautiful dresses on beautiful women, one can see culture for what it truly is, the dominant force that turns the cogs of Ilocos Sur, and the heart that fuses the people of the province together. For tourists then, the Kannawidan Festival was not only an experience to be had, it was an exercise in taking bits and bytes of a culture given without a second thought. Here, culture and heritage are given without a second thought because, in sharing, the Ilocanos of Ilocos Sur do themselves a favor. They keep their gift of culture alive. Given new life, the graceful organic movements of ritual dances from innumerable yesterdays ago became the graceful organic movements of today. Memorable among these outlets was the Panangimatang Iti Kannawidan, the essay and artwork competition. No frills and ruffles, no bells and whistles. The competition was a simple challenge of articulating the Ilocos Sur identity before the question of who could become too urgent. Doing their own part with much relish, enthusiasts, on the other hand, paraded their vintage cars and jockeys showcased their robust horses, both sharing childlike love for the signature ways people in Ilocos Sur have been using to get around for years. Fashion lovers rounded up the season with a style one could only call vintage chic. Held at the Vegan Plaza Hotel, the Kadaanan, a Pagan-Anay, was a period costume party that showed tourists what true Filipina beauty is. Graceful Maria Claras and dignified gentlemen mixed and mingled to the soothing tune of Filipino Kundiman music, seemingly recreating a scene straight from a Spanish-era novel. Vintage chic can also be used to describe the dresses of the Kannawidan Festival's Abel Iloco fashion show. Designed by such personalities as Dita Sandico Ong and Jonty Martinez, as well as Ilocos Sur's Designers Guild, and modeled by the candidates of the Miss Sanyata pageant, these dresses brought out the famous, traditionally weaved fabric's enduring elegance. With a night-long traditional zarzuela for everyone to enjoy, Kannawidan wrapped up to be an all-embracing festival. To be called a living treasure of Ilocos Sur is a distinction reserved for the guard keepers of the province's gold mine and traditions, tribal leaders, chanters, weavers, musicians, fishermen, all of them living receptacles of knowledge and skill. These prized members of the province accepted their awards with smiles on their faces and gifts in their hand. Each awardee happily shared the products of their trade with a generosity that seemed to come naturally with their hard-won skills.
Group award.
For a festival that celebrates the length and the layers of history, Ilocos Sur's Kannawidan Festival is young. The people of Ilocos Sur draw strength from the joy of the people and the trust in the process. To go to Ilocos Sur is to visit a place of irrevocable and immeasurable worth. A place where there is no such thing as old. Instead, there are only things that are timeless.